Hello, welcome to Port Misery, a GH podcast. It's Tara. As usual, we are here to find out why everybody in Port Charles is so miserable this week. Yeah, a lot happened. A lot happened, but nothing happened. But also, I'm very highly interested in what's about to happen. I have been thinking about this a lot. Before I get into it, bureaucratic stuff. So, obviously, I started posting on YouTube. If you don't listen to this on YouTube, then you don't know that. You don't care. But I did. And it's been fun. There's a lot more opportunities to hear from people who listen on YouTube, and it's only a few people, but I mean, it's growing. And so, you're small but mighty, YouTube, and I'm excited. And I asked if people liked the visuals. I only had a few responses on that, but I can definitely try to start doing that. Probably not going to do it for the next couple of weeks because I'm finishing up a teaching gig and it's literally done in 2 weeks, and then I just have to grade stuff, and then I'll have the next 2 months to sort of use this podcast as my escape from my actual job, which is what I do, because I'm a historian, or I'm getting my PhD in history. I'm a historian. I don't know why I keep qualifying it. I'm a historian. I'm getting my PhD in U.S. history, and I'm finishing it up. And so when I'm done researching for that, I watched this ridiculous 60-year plus show, and all of its ridiculousness. And so that was my long winded way of saying, hey, YouTube people, welcome. Please like and subscribe because I heard that's a thing. You can also like and subscribe on all of the other um, podcast stuff as well. I'm pretty sure you give ratings and stuff because some people have given me ratings, some people have not given me good ratings. But I think it was more personal stuff there, which is what, that's fine. This is not my day-to-day gig. This is really a hobby. So whatever rating you want to give me, it's not, you're not dipping into my pocketbook. I get my money elsewhere. So you really can just have your opinion. It's fine. But I would love for you to like and subscribe. That would be nice. That would be fun. But I will see if I can try to start adding more visual stuff in, since I'm gonna be on YouTube and it's more of a visual platform. And so, yeah, that's bureaucratic stuff out the way. And so let's talk about the show. The show this week, I didn't mind it. I don't need every week to be something's catching on fire and people are dying and people are screaming. I still think we got a lot of drama this week, but it doesn't need to be fireworks every single week. I think sometimes it's cool to have the slow, let's set up things so we can have fireworks next week. And I don't even think we're getting fireworks next week. I think next week is another setup week for whatever the fuck is about to go down at the Drillo wedding. I almost said the F because I was like, should I stop swearing? But someone said I shouldn't, and I'm gonna take that person at their word. One person said they were into it, so I'm staying. That's all it took. And so, thank you, person. But I've genuinely enjoyed the storylines this week. I have negatives. I have positives and negatives. I'm gonna start with a negative and then lead into the positives and try to stay more positive. Before I trash this show per usual, but always in jest, always out of love. But so the negative thing is that every story every story, and there's only really three real stories, so I'm not even complaining about the amount of stories, but every story feels like it is at the same time wrapping up, but it's also we're in the middle of it, but it's also we're just getting started. It feels like we're in all parts of this story, of every story at once. There's no sort of linear structure to any of this. I think it makes, I'm not sure if it's a negative for the show or if it's just a negative for this fucking podcast, and it makes it harder for me to structure my podcast because obviously last week I just watched every episode and then I recorded, I watched an episode, recorded, and did it back to back. But that ended up being such a long episode. I was like, it's 2 hours. That's crazy. And some of y'all listen to it, so So a lot of you guys listen to a majority of it, and I'm like, oh, okay. But I'm sure you're like, Tara, I don't have 2 hours of my freaking week to give you, so I'm trying to like not do 2 hours by not doing that format. Because like I said, when I saw how long it was, I was like, jeez, oh my god. But when I was trying to format the week, I was like moving stories around, and I had stories by themselves, and then I was like, well, this is technically like in the realm of this. At least it's adjacent to whatever these people are doing, even if it's not directly attached to it. And then I would be talking about something in one story and be like, well, this is really attached to this other story too, but where the hell do I talk about, you know, Tracy, the Tracy of it all? But I think I figured that out. But one of the positives that I really, really, really like about GH for the past, like, I think I've been watching for probably about 2 months after going on like a 3 month break. And what I really like about what's been happening lately is that there's just a lot more cohesion in the storytelling. Like the stories are a lot more cohesive, with characters being attached to multiple storylines and people feeling like they really know each other and are really affected by each other in a real and meaningful way. Like that's really what was missing for the past like 2 or 3 years. It would just, I for Report Misery, like especially in 2021 and 2022, I would literally just be talking about straggler stories. Like here's a straggler story. Here's just some shit that's happening because we got to give like Curtis something to do. So he's straggling along with his club. The entire Champagne Room storyline was a straggler story. There was never a point where that was a meaningful place that mattered. And like Curtis in that role, which is why last week I said I actually kind of like Curtis as the CEO of Aurora, because at least it makes sense that he's doing the things that he's doing as CEO of Aurora, and like he's connected to powerful people, and he's like in the story where like people were just like doing shit at the Champagne Room. Like shit was happening at the Champagne Room, but like who cared about the Champagne Room? It was like stupid. But like the stuff that they have people doing now, it makes sense. Like it makes sense for Tracy. Like even if I don't agree with it, like I'm not on Tracy's side, but it makes sense that Tracy is hyper fixating on having a blood connection to Sonny. Like that is real. And so now, because she has this direct blood connection, like no more Michael, like that was already too close for comfort for her, like Michael and Jason and all that. But now that she legitimately shares a relative with Sonny, now his business feels more personal to her. And so it makes sense that she would be doing these things. And so it doesn't seem, it's not straggling along. It's like, yeah, that fits, right? Like Sasha fleeing the country with her baby, like I'm not happy about it, right? Because I wanted Misha, but like it makes sense that she's gonna flee the country with her baby because her baby is Sonny Corinthos's granddaughter. Curtis, having Curtis and Nina having to write these negative articles about Sonny because they are being blackmailed by Drew and Tracy is real, and it connects what's happening with Sonny and his story to the Drew, Willow, Nina of it all. Like those are the real three stories, right? Like, and so it's the cohesion of storytelling that's really working for me. Even if they're missing up like small details, even if there's like things that in a perfect world with perfect continuity, these X, Y, and Z wouldn't happen, and this, and that would happen. I think that like Anna calling Dante to see if Dollar Tree Dex is a spy, that seems real to me because Dante is someone who she trusts, and he was a WSB agent. So it would make sense that he could tell who is and isn't a WSB agent. Like that should make sense to me. And so I I just really appreciate that there's more cohesion in the storytelling. That, you got Rocco calling Jocelyn his aunt. Not not because of Lulu's connection to Carly, but because all of Carson's children consider themselves siblings, and we have seen that throughout the years that, like, that's not made up. Jocelyn is not just she's upset that Christina got hurt because she considers Christina to be her sister. Rocco is Jocelyn's nephew because Dante considers Jocelyn to be his sister, and I really like that stuff. Like, I think that that's stuff that makes Port Charles feel like a real place, and like it's really lived in, even though we're only focusing on an extremely small subset of this population, right? Like, we're not focusing on like a majority of this like metropolitan town. Like, it was supposed to be like a mid-sized city or something. And so I really, really like that. I think that's really working in the show. There is one straggler story, and it's like he will pop up in another story for a second, but it's literally like attractive biracial doctor getting a money pit from Lucky and having to like do renovations and talking to Willow about it and stuff, making her feel bad about not having her kids and stuff. Like, give him something to do. Like, that's so weird. That's so weird that you want to have him doing that. You can have him do anything else. Like, that's such a straggler. Like, when he started talking to the people on the phone, I was like, this is the straggler story of the century. This story is straggling along for dear life. It's straggling for dear life. But let's get into it. Let's get into the recap. This is Everybody Hates Sonny edition. Let's go. So first off, we have Spy Hospital, as always. It's always first because I'm sick of it. But I will say, even though this is my least favorite storyline, there were still very funny things in the storyline. This was a storyline that needed to happen. It needs to happen the way it's happening. And the inclusion of Anna Duvane in the story, like, only helps the story on so many different levels. Let's get into it. So, Anna Duvane is on the motherfucking case, and Jocelyn is cooked because she's not ready for the smoke. Like, she's in the big leagues now, because Anna is suspicious as hell, and she is real irritated that people really have the nerve to be running black ops in her town, thinking that she's not gonna know that she's running a black op mission in her town. Like, be so fucking serious right now. Dollar Tree Dex. But she's convinced that Dollar Tree Dex is a terrible spy because she caught him, so obviously he's terrible at it. Um, but she's distracted by all of that by Emma's raggedy dog that she found eating her shoe. And it's so funny because she is so real about this shoe. She's like, my shoe, no, not my shoe. Emma's like, what's going on? What's happening? Girl, I know you heard her screaming about this shoe for like 2.5 minutes before you ran out. You were really sitting there with Gio like, what we gonna do because the dog ate her shoe? I know she gonna be mad. Listen, be so fucking serious, Emma, with this dog. But Anna's so funny because she's just like, these shoes older than you, girl. I got these when I was on assignment in Milan, girl. You don't know about Milan. You don't know about that life. These are memories. Memories vintage. What the hell, girl? She was like, I'm gonna buy you some new shoes. Where do you think I got these shoes from, girl? These are not shoe warehouse ass shoes. Don't make me slap you, girl. Emma's like, we gotta go with Gio because her man lived with them. That is so funny. Emma really said, my man lived with me. My man's gonna live with me now. And Anna was like, I guess. Because Anna got married at 18. So I guess that means that she can't say nothing to her granddaughter. That's definitely what Felicia was implying. But Emma goes off. Gio sees a Pop Tart come out of the toaster. He knows that he did not put this Pop Tart in the toaster. He has no memory of putting the Pop Tart in the toaster. He would have known. He just said, oh, look, a Pop Tart. It just immediately starts eating it. And now I want to go slap Lois and Gloria again because what the hell kind of house training is this? What is this? What do you mean you just took that woman's toaster strudel or whatever? Because I don't even think Anna would get a Pop Tart. I think she's too fancy for Pop Tart. She's gonna have a toaster strudel where she could put the icing on herself and have it in a nice little pattern. But the young man came, took the Pop Tart post COVID, took a bite out of this Pop Tart and handed it to her like, "You want the rest of the Pop Tart? You want the rest of the toaster strudel? I am going. You getting smacked too. Both of y'all getting smacked. I got two hands to smack both y'all." But like I said, it's funny. It's funny because she's really like, "What is happening here?" And remember, Emma didn't even want to live with her. Emma was like, "I'm a terrible roommate. You don't want to live with me. I'm 22. I'm out here adopting dogs and bringing men home and borrowing your shit, your vintage shit. Like, you don't want to live with me." Anna was like, "Yes, you need to live with me. I'm your grandmother. I'm your grandmother. You need to come live with me." And now look at you. Look at you. And so they leave. Felicia had already come over. Felicia's here. And Anna's like, "All right, now that they're gone, I am worried about Emma and her honeypot plan. And I think that the WSB is involved. So now it's a honeypot with a spy op next to it. I don't like that. I don't like that at all." Felicia's like, "Nah, it's probably not that. It's probably something else." Felicia, what? Girl, you were there in the 80s with the WSB. What are you talking about? Which is what Anna's on. She's like, "What? Okay. Well, I think it is. It's weird that my granddaughter just want to be with Dollar Tree Dex when he's a whole ass 35-year-old man. Like, why does she want to be with him?" Felicia, like I said, is like, "Well, isn't Robert like 20 something years older than you and you like married him and had his baby at 18?" Anna was like, "Why are you bringing up old shit? Why are you bringing up old shit? It's different. It's cute when I did it. It's cute. It was the 80s. It was the 70s and 80s. It was a different time. It was a different time, and what's good for me is not the life that I had. The life that I live is not necessarily the life I want for my granddaughter." Okay, Felicia? Okay? Like, Felicia was acting real weird. I know that they wanted to write it like Anna's like, "Ooh, look, she's paranoid," but she's also right. So it's hard to be like, "Oh my God, Anna, you're so paranoid," when we know that she's right. And so Felicia being like, "I don't know, maybe you should stay out of it." Felicia, why are you so against Anna being in? Are you in on the op? Are you in? Because why are you dissuading Anna so much? It's weird to me that she was just like, "I don't know." Because even the next time they talk, Anna's like, "Look, I got all this evidence. This man got a squeaky clean record. He looks sus. He's 35, trying to date children. That shit's weird." Felicia's like, "Listen, even if it is like a WSB mission, you should just stay out of it because like." Are you doing this to be petty? Why are you accusing her of being petty? She's really like, "Are you doing this because you mad that like Pikeman forced you out?" Because I know I'm mad about Frisco. Girl, why are you mad about Frisco? You should not be talking about Frisco, given the history. If you don't know Felicia and Frisco's history, given the fact that she married to Mac, look it up. Look it up. But like, yeah, Felicia essentially accuses Anna of being like petty. Like, "So you doing this to be petty or some shit? You just trying to take him down a peg? Be like, ooh, I can find out your op, even if you don't tell me because I'm that good." Anna's like, "No, there's a damn op happening in Port Charles and they didn't tell me about it. They tell the mayor about it. We're just really out here not knowing stuff. You don't find a problem with that? You don't think that's weird that he's just out here doing ops with children?" And so Felicia's like, "I don't know." Anna's like, "Cool, bye." She calls Dante. Dante's always down for shenanigans. "Dante, we doing shenanigans. We doing spy shenanigans. I need you to go follow Dollar Tree Dex and find out what he's doing." She calls Carly because remember last week she had run into Dollar Tree Dex and Emma, and then Jocelyn showed up. They started making out. She was like, "That's weird. That's weird. I don't like that." She calls Carly essentially to narc on Josh, which I think is hilarious because, like, yeah, that's, I was like, so is Anna just gonna let Josh date this 35-year-old man? She's not gonna, like, give anybody a heads up, like, "Hey, your daughter's dating a 35-year-old man." But she does. She calls Carly. She's like, "So, daughter's dating a 35-year-old man. How you feel about it?" Carly's like, "I don't know, man. The young adults, people be dying, right? Like, Dex died, Spencer died, so they've been sad. They had Sad Girl Summer and Sad Girl Winter and Sad Girl Arbor Day. And so if the 35-year-old man make her happy, like, I don't care. I don't want her to marry him because he a janitor and she's an heiress. But if she just want to like, jump on the peen to like feel something again, I'm just gonna let her do it. Because she was so sad, so sad. And Anna's like, listen, I hear you. I do not approve of my granddaughter dating no 34-year-old man. I'm not judging you. I'm not judging you. Anna is 1,000% judging her, but it's fine. She should, because Carly, what you mean? Your daughter can jump on 35-year-old peen if it makes her happy because her boyfriend died. Her 27-year-old boyfriend died. So she moved up to a 35-year-old man, and that's fine because she got to go through that journey. Carly, what are you talking about? But Anna's like, listen, I just thought it was weird that, like, she had this public breakup because Carly told her about the breakup because she had heard about it. That she had this public breakup at the pool, and then she comes, interrupts the date to, like, that I interrupted as Emma's grandmother and the police commissioner. Carly's like, so you just ran up on your granddaughter's date as the police commissioner and her grandmother? What the hell? Like, not only are you her hot grandmother, which is already awkward. This is my grandmother. Yes, she's very attractive. Please stop thinking about that. And you're the police commissioner. So like you don't even know if you being run up on to get like got in some way. That's weird as hell, girl. Carly is kind of clowns over that. Anna does have to be like, yeah, you right. You right. That was really weird. But listen, it's weird that your daughter was a 35-year-old. Carly's like, look, it is very weird that she was a 35-year-old. I see you. I hear that. And she just got the spark back. Because you know what? Things been happening real quick. Like, all of a sudden, she was happy. She got this, like, Easter Island trip. Just came out of nowhere. Anna's like, wait, back it up. What Easter? What are you talking about? Easter Island? That's weird. That wasn't a planned thing. Like, it seemed like you got to get permission to go to Easter Island. Because Easter, that's, like, protected. They got stuff going on. She just got to go. She was like, yeah, she just, it just fell to, she was just on the plane, right? Like, she called me from the plane, like, girl, I'm going to Easter Island. I was like, congratulations, girl. Anna immediately like, oh, okay, I know what time it is. I know what time it is. Um, and just immediately figures out that Joss is a spy. Um, and so let's go to Emma. Emma, like I said, she ran out the door because her dog ate her mom's Milan heels from back in her spy and hoe days, so she knows she in trouble. And so she's like, let me go start my honeypot. I need to go honeypot Kane from YNR, who's just shirtless, like almost every episode he was on this week, unnecessarily in my opinion. And terrorizing Danny and Rocco. Like, leave those two boys alone. Like, you can see that their kids calm the fuck down. Like, the towels are right there. You can walk 5 steps and get the towel your damn self. Like, what you talking about? You were acting like he was going the water was gonna envelop his entire spirit if like Danny didn't bring him the fucking towel right now. Like, sir, I'm gonna need you to calm it all the way down. And then like yelling at Danny about a dog. Like, there's a dog on my seat. What the hell? What kind of establishment is this? Bruh, why you think that the little boy is in control of dogs? Like, so that dog had to skip past so many fucking people before it made its way up to the pool and into the vicinity of this young man. This kid, not even a man, he's a boy. This like teen. And now you like, it's your fault. I need these kids fired. Bruh, you doing too much. You doing entirely too much. Put a shirt on. Put a shirt on and tell us what the hell you doing. Because I actually cannot have you yelling at the J Sam baby if I don't even know why the hell you're here. Like, I need you to actually serve real purpose and functionality on this show if you gonna be raising your voice to legacy babies like Danny Morgan. Right? But he's terrorizing them. I will say though, Danny was so funny because Danny was really like, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Like, Carly on this hotel, that's my dad's bestie. He was gonna marry her once upon a time. What are we talking about? I'll go call that hoe right now. You want to call her? I'll call her. I'll call her and tell her what you said right now. It's very funny. I love the J Sam baby. I'm gonna protect him. Danny's really in his come at me, bro. Come at me, bruh. That's where he's at. Come at me, bruh. That's the area he's in, and I'm here for it. Um, but Emma pops up like, "Oh my God, it's my dog. I'm so sorry. Don't. These are just babes. Leave them alone. Oh my God, I'm such a fan of your work. Can I help you some more? Let me honey pot you in your office." And he's just like, "I am so open and willing to be honey potted. 100% Emma. Yes, please come honey pot me some more." And so he bounces. Danny, like I said, is like, "You ain't got to honeypot this man. You ain't got to shake your ass for this man. I'll call my daddy and Carly right now." Emma's like, "No, you're not gonna do that because I want to be in the honeypot. This is purposeful, planned honeypot." And then proceeds to just tell Danny and Rocco all about the honeypot. The nosy teens who literally just found out that Rocco is a stolen embryo baby because they were just ruffling through papers on a table. That's who she told. So everybody about to know about that honey pot. And if they don't, it's plot reasons. It's like all of a sudden Danny and Rocco can mind their own business for plot purposes so Emma could do a honey pot. That's what we'll call right now. But it was very weird to me that Emma's like, "Let me tell these teenage boys about this honey pot." But I will say positive, trying to keep it positive. I like that all the young characters are interacting with each other. I think that's really fun. Obviously, it's summer, and so Finn, Carr, and Asher are available more because they are actually teens. And so it's great that they, get to be around and we get to use them and we get to see them do stuff. It's fun. I like it. Um, Moving on, let's go to Dollar Tree Dex and Jocelyn. So they start out this week at Pikeman's office, and they're like, "So Anna's on to us. Like, we're terrible spies." And Dollar Tree Dex really tries to blame Joss. He's like, "This shit was her idea. That's why it failed." Joss is like, "Bruh, you were so fucking down for the plan. I don't know what you're talking about." Pikeman's like, "Listen, I don't want to hear any of this. Shut the fuck up." Because Anna is truly that bitch. All right. She's that bitch. So if we caught, that means you caught. And I don't like that. So what y'all need to do is you need to be in love. Y'all love each other now. Okay. Because she can't know that you're spies. So you love each other now because you're not ready for that smoke. You're not ready for the Anna Devane smoke, and neither am I. I'm not trying to hear it. Mission accomplished. Like before it's even done, it is accomplished because it's got to be accomplished. Get the fuck out of my face. And so Jocelyn, because she had cloned the phone, she cloned Kane from YNR's phone in the weeks ago. And they just now figured out that, like, oh, he ain't got nothing on that phone. He don't be talking to the people on the phone. And so she figures out that he's got a courier. Is some curly hair woman. They're always trying to make curly hair people because I got curly hair. They're trying to make curly hair people seem evil. Stop. But especially with Britt Westbourne and her straight ass hair are in back in the universe, but we gonna get to that. But curly hair girl, she's clearly the courier. Kane from YNR is like dropping off backpack. It looks like a bomb, to be honest. I feel like you can't be leaving backpacks unattended like that. That's crazy. I would have been like, some weird white man left the backpack unattended, and now I'm worried about a bomb, and the bomb squad will be here. Like, they're so lucky that people in Port Charles are so psychologically damaged by all the mobbing that when they see a backpack, they're just like, "Let me enjoy the last few minutes of my life. I'm not gonna panic. I do not want to spend the last few minutes of my life in turmoil. I'm gonna enjoy my pina colada. I'm gonna swim at the pool. I'm gonna get some rays because I don't want to know what the fuck's in that backpack." Because the last time a backpack got left someplace, Lulu ended up in a coma. That's all I'm going to say. Dustin dead. Floating ribbon no more. We don't use that set no more. It's gone. We didn't even rebuild it. And so I would have freaked out at the backpack. No one freaked out at this backpack. Jocelyn's like, peeps the backpack, sees the curly hair woman seeing the backpack. She's like, "Danny, get over here. That woman's a big tipper. She loved giving little kids money for no fucking reason. So be nice to her." Danny just starts giving this bitch everything. Like, he must have spent like $700 worth of Carly's product to get $50 from this hole. And I'm obsessed. I told you I love the J Sam baby. Cause why he doing that? It's so funny. He was like, take this parfait, take this complimentary towel, take this robe, take a 7 night stay in the presidential suite, take all these things. She was like, yeah, here, because I need you to get out my face. Take this $50. And he's like, thank you so much. Because he's a little kid and that's a lot of money. Like, he was just spending Metro Court product to get a tip because he don't have no type of like sense of stakes because he's a little kid and it's so funny. But Jocelyn's trying to put the world's largest tracking device. Like, she put, it looked like the thing she had in her hand. I swear to God, it looked like the shit they hand you at Chili's when you need to wait for your table, like the shit that Outback hands you. Like that big thing, like it buzzes when your table's ready at Cheesecake Factory. That shit. That's what she had. It was like a miniature version of that. It was that, or it was like the dye pack they have on clothes. Like, you know how Macy's be putting like the dye pack on clothes? Like, you can still our shit if you want, but it's not gonna look cute. It's not gonna look cute. We will give you our shit, but it's not gonna be cute. You either gonna have to rip a big fucking hole in it, or you gonna have dye all over it because you ain't shit. That's how much. That's what stealing gets you. But also, I don't care about billionaire corporations. Hashtag fuck billionaires. Moving on, but Jocelyn trying to put the world's biggest tracking device. It was like when Carly was trying to put that big tape recorder, that like Casio deck tape recorder under Pikeman's desk, got caught. That shit. She was trying to put this in this woman's like Jan Sport backpack that was just left at the Metro Course pool. Got caught immediately by Kane from YNR. And she was like, "Oh my god, these cheapo glasses. They always fall off my head." Girl, you a billionaire heiress. Why you got cheap glasses for? I don't believe that shit for a second. Girl, get out my face. Those are Fendi. Like, your Chanel glasses fell off your head. Stop, Jocelyn. I don't even think cheap for you is like Ray-Ban, to be honest. And so he buys that shit though. And Jocelyn calls Dollar Tree Dex. She's like, okay, I couldn't put the Chili's table receiver into that woman's bag, so we gotta follow her. They go to the airport, and she ends up putting the Chili's table receiver into the woman's backpack, but Dante's watching the whole time. Dante's just at TSA watching. And then he calls Anna, like, girl, you're not even going to believe who's a spy now. And Anna's like, is it Jocelyn? Is it Jocelyn? Because Carly just told me about the fake Easter Island ass cover. And so Anna knows that Jocelyn's a spy. I can't wait for those scenes. I can't wait for that confirmation. And I can't wait for Jocelyn to try and play in Anna's face. Just try to play in her fucking face like she's some bitch to lie to like this. Cannot wait. But let's move on. This is like a spy. I struggle with where to put this story, and I almost put it like a straggler story. It's not really straggling. It's spy hospital adjacent, and so I put it in spy hospital. It is Sasha bouncing. So Sasha's bouncing. We got confirmation. We got the confirmation. Sophia Mass is leaving the show. I'm heartbroken. I wanted Misha. I'm not gonna waste time being like, what does this mean for Michael? Because like, this podcast is gonna be long enough because I'm already looking and I'm at like 33 minutes, and I'm still in the middle of the first story, and so I'm not gonna get into that. I just want to say I really appreciate Sophia Madsen. This is a character that when she first came on the show, I was like, what the hell is this? Like, we giving Nina a fake daughter for her fake ass story, for her fake character that y'all made up in 2014? Now we're doing all this? And she has really, like, throughout the 7 years of being on this show, they've given her crazy shit. They put Sasha through the ringer. And she sold me on all that shit. She sold me on all of it. She sold me on her being a drug addict. She sold me on freaking Brando. She sold me on the dead baby Christmas. She sold me on all of it. Like, all of it. Even her being this quarterman cook. Even this crazy Michael affair. Like, all of it. I was not gonna follow her down Joshua. I was a bridge too far for me. But it seemed like Steve was with me on that too. Steve Burton seemed like, I'm not playing that. I'm not playing that. And so I wish Sophia Madsen all the best. I hope she comes back. I hope we see Sasha again. Played by Sophia Madsen. And that's all I'm gonna say on that. Because I'm not gonna speculate on casting rumors. Like legit casting rumors, to be honest. Excuse me. And so let's talk about Sasha leaving. So Michael goes to see his parents. He sees Carson, and he's like, "So Sasha's bouncing." They're like, "No, that she can't do that. You don't. She don't have to. You don't have to let her do that. We'll steal that baby too. We're in baby stealing mode anyway. Let's go." Michael's like, "We're not stealing any more babies. She's not stealing the baby. I'm not stealing the baby. I'm letting her go because shit's popping off, and you know that." And Sonny's like, "Yeah, you right. You right." Um, this is the thing, right? This is why this is crazy. And like I understand because I think the main comment that I'll get is like retort is gonna be like, well, because of Willow. But like that's the thing. Like even like Willow is sort of the end all be all of this. Like if Daisy is in danger, that means Wiley and Amelia are in danger. Like Daisy is not a separate danger. And the fact that she was being targeted and not Wiley and Amelia should have been people's first clue that this might not be Sonny related. And so it's weird to me that we're even like they're not even trying to investigate because it's like it's we live in this like uncanny valley between like it's either Sasha is fucking mad, we got to yellow wallpaper her, or Sonny's villains are just like soft kidnapping a baby between 2:17 and 2 like 26 in the afternoon every Wednesday. Like that's fucking weird. And like the fact that like that's I don't like that being like the way we get her off the show. I think that's stupid. But I mean, I guess you had to do it some way. I don't agree with it. It seems like it was her decision. I didn't read too much into it. And so I'm not going to get into it like that. I just think that, them being like, yeah, it must be Sunny. It's not a bad assumption, right? It's definitely not a zebra. Like if you hear hooves, it's not a zebra assumption. It's definitely a horse like assumption. I just think it's weird that like, and once again, like if why wasn't that Willow's plan? Like that's what I'll say. Like, why isn't that Willow's plan? That like she's gonna soft kidnap this baby, make it seem like Sunny's enemies are coming after the kids, so she can petition the court and be like, Michael has too close of a relationship with his dad. My kids aren't safe. No, now she just wants to like make him feel bad. She just want. I'll get into it when we talk about Willow, but Sasha's leaving. Michael's down. He tells Carson like, get with the fucking program. Like we're doing this. I don't want to be in Spy Hospital anymore. I'm over it. We belong in Mob Hospital, and we gotta fight Drew and Willow. So let Sasha do what the fuck she wants to do, so we can go smack the shit out of Drew. They're like, bet we gonna smack his ass down. I'm ready. He talks to Tracy. He tells her how hard it is because Tracy kind of comes up to him like, "Look, I'm moving against your dad. I just thought you should know." He's like, "Look, I'm making moves too. Like I have to send Daisy away, and I don't know if I could do it because obviously that's my baby. Like I love her. I want to have her in my life. I love Sasha. I'm realizing how much she means to me." And Tracy's like, "Look, you having the instinct to like take your kids and run, that's exactly what my dad would do. Like you a lot like him, and like you're doing this because you're a good dad. You shouldn't feel bad about this. You got this." And so like I like that they're reinvesting. That's what I mean about the cohesion. Like they're reinvesting in relationships that matter because Michael and Tracy have always had a really good relationship. That's not made up. That's not like, oh, we're just pretending like Tracy likes everybody. No, like not only has Michael and Tracy always had a really good relationship, Tracy, since she's come back the last time, has really been written as someone who is rethinking their relationship with their family and realizing that like the ways in which they felt about their family when they were younger were not necessarily correct, where they were so willing to throw them away and they were so willing to backstab, and now she's like, family's everything. And it's kind of like a parallel story running toward like running next to Jason's story, where he was like, "Oh, this is my life, and I'll do what I want." And now he's seeing how his choices affect his family, and now that family matters. And so I like those stories. I think that like they bring depth to the very shallow, soapy things that are happening, and that's what makes soap special. But Yeah, they Tracy and Michael talks, really nice talk. We see Sasha at the pool. She has conversations with like Danny and Rocco. Rocco asking like, "Oh, do babies?" And we're gonna talk about Rocco. He's being real fucking weird. Um, but she takes Daisy to the pool. She takes her to the hospital to be berated by Willow one final time, and then take her baby on a checkup. She runs into Nina. They have some heartfelt goodbye that's slightly unearned. I'll talk about that later. Forgives her for betraying her and tells her that she's leaving. We see Jason telling Danny, you know, I gotta take Sasha to someplace safe. Proud of you. They talk about Dead Sam some more. Sam gets more play in Death than she ever did in life over the past 5 years. Is actually very crazy. But he tells Danny that he should say goodbye to Sasha and the baby, and they do. Michael says goodbye to the baby, and then she goes with Jason to go be with Robert in France on a private jet with the world's largest fucking windows that were so weird. And Jason, they rented the private jet, like they took Sonny's jet to like take Sasha to fucking France, but he's flying commercial back so he could run into fucking Brit at De Gaulle. Okay, we'll get to it. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. But he's on the private jet with the large fucking windows, and like it's the weirdest looking plane. And they try it was plane it was uncanny valley. Like it gave plane like, but it was so weird. Make them windows smaller. But they talk about ridiculous stuff, to be honest. Like you would think that Jason and Sasha had like this decade and a half long friendship instead of like he pretended to be her baby daddy for a few months. But they talk about like off screen Monica and Dead Sam some more, and how Jason should date somebody because Britt's coming back. Okay. But he takes her to Robert's house in France, which looks a lot like Alexis's old lake house before it got blown up by Julian. And Robert thanks Jason for raising both his daughters, but only banging one of them. Thank you for that. And that's pretty much the end. Sasha's leaving the show, and I think that might be the last we see of Tristan. He may come back. He may come back, but it was good to see him. I was glad we got to see him because literally a few hours before the show aired, they announced that Tristan Rogers was diagnosed with cancer. And so we're sending lots of love to his family. And it just made it extra special to see him on the show. Like, because when you hear stuff, like, we see these people every day. And so, like, we have, like, when people talk about parasocial relationships with, like, actors and shit, at least we've kind of earned ours. Because, like, we've seen these people every day, 5 days a week for decades in some cases. So, like, that stuff can be very, like, emotional to hear that. So it was great to see him, be the person that Sasha goes to, and like the whole scenes were very bittersweet because like you could tell that these were Sophia's last scenes, that like Sasha's last scenes with Jason and with Robert were Sophia's last scenes that she was filming. And so it was nice, and I wanted to find a place. Like I said, Robert's a spy, and so essentially they sent her. She did not want to raise her baby in Mob Hospital, and so she was sent to Spy Hospital, to off screen Spy Hospital, to be with her parents off screen, since most of her life was off screen anyway. And so, thank you, Sophia Madsen. Like I said, I loved you on the show. You turned me into a believer. I think you have been robbed not only of Emmys, but nominations of Emmys for years. And I do hope that you go on to better and brighter things. But if not, I would love to see you back as Sasha on GH anytime, 100%. And so let's move on to the next story. surprisingly enough, oddly enough, surprising, it's not my fave. It's not the best, not what I think is the best story, even though I was highly entertained and it involves all my favorite characters. And of course, it's Mob Hospital, Homophobic Maria Santos' Dead edition. I loved Mob Hospital and I genuinely love how much we're mobbing. I think the only reason why this did not win is because like we only deal with it on Monday and Tuesday and then we do not give a fuck about it for the rest of the week. Like Latino Son is just in he's just in a somewhere, right? He's somewhere locked up in a room somewhere that we don't know about and we don't deal with it Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. And that's crazy to me. And that's why it can't be number one. But let's talk about it. So, homophobe Maria Santos is dead, and we're having this funeral. And no one attends because she's awful. And that is real. Like, literally, Maxie's like, I have work. Brooklyn's not showing up. Like, only person who goes is Lucy, and that's literally because she's trying to bang White East African Warlord. White East African Warlord is really like, oh my god, Natalia, you are missed. You will be missed. And Lucy's like, yes, she will. She was a complicated woman, but I respected the hell out of her. And you know what? I hate that shit. I hate that shit. And maybe I just don't have it in me. Maybe I'm just naturally. I don't have that like fake politeness in me. But I hate when terrible people die and then we gotta pretend that they weren't fucking terrible. Like we gotta talk about them like they weren't the worst fucking person on the planet who was annoying. Like you divorced that woman for a reason. Lucy fired her. And so, okay, yeah. But they're like, oh my gosh, she will be missed. She will be missed. Um, Whitey's African Warlord is like, so you know Sonny did that shit, right? You know Sonny did that. Lucy's like, I don't know. Like, I feel like it could, like, you know, drugs and alcohol is crazy and stuff. Whitey's African Warlord is like, she never did drugs and alcohol when she was with me. So I don't know about all that. Lucy's like, well, when was the last time y'all were together? Like this could have been something that came up. Like since she got a different baby with a different man who is also an adult. So obviously you have not been with her in a really long time. She was really trying to cap for Sonny. And the best white East African warlord could do would be like, we don't know what happened. We don't know who did it. He definitely wasn't. You could tell he didn't anticipate Lucy not immediately turning like on Sonny. That like, and that's the crazy part is like I don't know how aware White East African Warlord is to why people in Port Charles are doing the things that they're doing. Because like I said, if we're talking about off screen like citizens of Port Charles, and like yeah, maybe they fucking hate Sonny, but like the people in town, like White East African Warlord clearly has no idea that Drew is blackmailing Curtis to talk shit about Sonny. And Tracy is blackmailing Nina to talk shit about Sonny. And so, like, the people talking shit don't even believe this shit. And at a certain point, have every right and reason to turn around and be like, I didn't actually believe any of that shit. I was being blackmailed by these people. And so, why he's African Warlord, it seems to me that he's finally overplaying his hand because he overestimated how much people didn't fuck with Sonny. Like, and he really was like, oh, if I have like this, and that happen, then these people would turn on him, and like that's not happening, babes. Because Lucy's like, I don't know. I've been friends with Sonny for a really long time, and I've seen him do some fucked up shit, and this is not giving Sonny Corinthos. And so he has to be like, I guess we'll disagree to disagree. And she's like, look, do you want me to go like talk to Curtis about getting the headline out the paper? Because like I think this shit is bullshit anyway. Because Curtis obviously from last week had to like run the Sonny killed homophobe Maria Santos article. So she goes to do that. White East African Warlord shows up, or not White East African Warlord, came from R&R, shows up like, hey, remember the spy hospital shenanigans? He's like, listen, bitch, fix that shit now. Or like, you know, I'm gonna be upset. Like, get your off-screen shenanigans done. Like, better and more quickly because, like, what's even happening with that story? What's happening with that story? You don't know. That's all we know. We know it involves a dog. We know it involves animals and science, environment, spy. That's all we know. We know buzzwords. We don't know shit about what Kane from YNR and White East African Warlord are doing. That shit's weird. Tell me, the writers don't know what they doing. Like, they have no idea what's happening with Kane from YNR and White East African Warlord and their off-screen shenanigans. All we got is animals, spy, science, minerals, just buzzwords, just weird connection words. That's it. That's all we got. And so he's like, get out, go deal with off screen shenanigans. At the same time, Alexis is over at Latino Son's hotel room. She's offering her condolences, but also here to cap for Sonny. And I think that's weird as hell. Like, I am on Sonny's side, and I know that he didn't kill homophobe Maria Santos, but it is so weird that Alexis is like, let me show up the day of this woman's funeral to this man's house, her son, to tell him that not to be mean to Sonny. Be nice to Sonny for my daughter. Alexis, this is why people don't like you. This right here, this is the behavior that they don't like. They don't like this girl. This is bad behavior. People hate this shit. He's like, okay, so you know this is my mama's funeral, right? I'm about to go bury her. But you here to cap for fucking Sonny? Girl, get out my face. Alexis is like, Sonny would never hurt you or Blaze. And it's so funny because what's about to happen. Let me get into it. So, the next thing that happens is we see Latino Son in a room being like, let me out, let me out, let me out. Sonny walking into the church with White East African Warlord is like, I got your son. I got your son. You did all these things to me. Like, I'm this man to steal on. And now I got your son. What's good? What's good? It is so funny. So funny. Lucas had been trying to get in contact with Latino Son, but Latino Son wasn't answering the text, which is why that's why you need to be nicer to your boyfriend, Latino Son. Be nicer to your boyfriend. Because if you were texting Lucas back, then he would be more, he would have more knowledge than what he has right now. But you didn't. And so he's in the room. Jason's got some nameless person watching him. And he's like, don't let him out the room. I gotta go do some stuff. I'll be right back. Dude almost lets him out the room. He almost let him out the room because Latino Son was like, oh my god, I'm diabetic. I'm gonna die. So he puts his little face mask on, goes to open the door. Latino Son hit him with a chair, but like Sonny and Jason be buying cheap chairs for their makeshift prisons. And so the dude ends up just tying Latino Son to the chair. He was like, so you don't get freedom of movement anymore. We were trying to be very nice with your imprisonment, but now you are on timeout because you did bad. And so now the last we've seen of Latino Son, he is in a room tied to a chair, and we don't see anything else about him for the rest of the week. And that shit is the funniest shit I have ever heard in my life. Who thought of this? Who was like, let's tie Latino Son to a chair by Tuesday, but not deal with that shit until next week? Why did you do that? Why is he just tied to a fucking chair? Sonny's going to the pool and shit. Jason's like, he's in France. Jason went all the way to fucking France. Latino Son tied to a chair. Does he get food? Can he go to the bathroom? What is the state of Latino Son right now? Tell me right now, GH, because I need to know if Latino Son is okay. You just tied him to a chair and moved on. You tied him to a chair and said, listen, Sasha's got to go to France. All right, we got to see Robert. Okay, Latino's son is tied to a chair somewhere in Port Charles, indefinitely. Maybe getting food and water, maybe shitting his pants because he's tied to a chair. I don't know. We don't know. The show didn't think about it because we definitely not gonna get any type of resolution about that until at least Monday. And I didn't look at the spoilers, so I don't even know it's Monday. It could be Tuesday. It could be a week between when we find out what's happening with Latino son. But let's get back to it. Sonny is with White East African Warlord. White East African Warlord is really trying to be like, I don't even know why you did that because I didn't do that. I didn't do anything to you. I am a good man. I'm a good man, Savannah. I didn't do anything. And Selena Wu did that shit. She's the one burning your shit. Kidnap her son. Sonny's like, don't play on my fucking face. Don't lie in the church. Stop it. I got your son. He's on lockdown. Stop the games. Keep it cute. He said White East African Warlord said no. No. I lie so proficiently that I somehow believe my lies. And so no, I will not calm down. How dare you? You need to give my son back. The bloodshed, this is your fault. This is your fault because you a mobster. The reason why people come for your peers is because you a mobster. That's why people come for your peers. You need to, this is not my fault. I am a victim. Sonny's like, cool, great. Maybe it's not your fault, but you the one who gonna fix it because I got your son. And if you don't get the people to give me my peers back, stop, leave me alone, leave Laura Collins alone, and back the fuck up, you never gonna see your son again. So what's good? Like, White East African Warlord is really, really like, this is everybody's fault but mine. It's everybody's fault but mine. I did nothing wrong. I've never done anything wrong in my life. Sonny's like, well, too bad. You gotta fix it. And so Lucas, because like I said, Lucas had been looking for Latino son. He even called Carly. He was like, Carly, Latino son did not come pick me up for homophobe Maria Santos' empty ass funeral. Break into his room. So Carly's like, bet. Breaks into the room because it's her hotel, so it's her room. She's like, this is my room. I'll break into the one I want. He's not there. The bed is made up. He's nowhere to be found. Lucas is immediately like, Sonny got him. Sonny got him because White East African Warlord ain't shit. Carly is really so funny because she's like, maybe he doesn't. Like, I did talk to him. Maybe Latino son is just needed some space and his phone died and he don't know your number because it's 2025 and who memorizes numbers anymore, girl? Like, come on now. And Lucas is like, don't girl me. Don't play in my face like this. We know what time it is. Carly's like, I don't know. Lucas is like, bet. He goes to the funeral because he's like, if he's not at this funeral, I'm flipping the table. Goes to the funeral. First person he runs into is Jason. Jason's like, hey, what's up? Can I help you? Lucas is like, bro, what you talking about? This is a fucking funeral. What you here for? Where is Latino's son? Jason's like, look, don't ask questions you don't want the answer to. Don't be in my business if you don't want to be in my business. I know you feel like you in your West Side Story era, you in your Maria era. You don't want to be Maria. That shit don't work out well for her. So go back to the hospital. You don't need to be at this homophobic ass bitch's funeral. Like, go do some doctor shit. Lucas is like, I will not do doctor shit. That's my man. My man, my man, my man. I'm actually here for him going this hard for Latino son. Does he know this man well enough to be going this hard? No. Has he slept with him? I don't know. You tell me in the comments because I might have missed it. If they slept together, maybe the dick was snapping. To be honest, like sorry, I never thought I'd be this stigmatized, but I am. Because he must be, because he's really wilding out. He's like, I'm gonna do all these things. How dare you? I thought you were a good man, Jason. Jason's like, I don't know why you mad at me. That man's fault in there. This White East African Warlord's fault. This is not my fault. This is not Sonny's fault. We didn't do anything. We literally have been sitting here living our lives, pushing our fake purses, and here comes this man burning everything he could find and killing people thrown in the harbor. But somehow we're the bad guys. Make it make sense. And so Lucas tries to go into the church. Jason's like, no, you're not going to interrupt this. Sonny come out, because like I said, Sonny's like, fix it or I'm going to kill your son. What's good? I told you that 2 weeks ago. Like, you try to come after my kids, I'm going to kill your son. You came after my kid, I got your son. Fix my shit or I'm going to kill your son. He leaves. Lucas is like, where's Latino's son? Sonny's like, I don't know. Let's go, Jason. Lucas starts being like, I'm gonna turn you in. I'm gonna tell the PCPD that you were gonna send homophobe Maria Santos to Belize. You know that shit sounds whack as hell. Sonny's like, you not telling them anything they don't know because white East African warlord already told them. So it's fine. I don't care. Do what you gotta do, bruh. Like, Lucas is really like, I'll go to Drew Kane. He'll know what to do. Sonny's like, I got Drew's the next person on my list to get slapped the shit out of. To be honest, on my like, I slapped White East African Warlord just now. I'm about to go tee up and slap the shit out of Drew. So you do what you gotta do, bruh. Be on that side if you want to be on that side. I don't give a fuck. And they bounce. Lucas goes talk to White East African Warlord. White East African Warlord is like the king of gaslighting people. He is. I'm not even mad at it because he's so good at it. Because like, bro, what are you even fucking talking about? So Lucas comes in, like, bruh, what the fuck? Where is your son? White East African Warlord is like, yo people done took my son, your man, and so you gotta talk to your people and get my son back. Lucas like, bitch, what you think I've been doing? What you think I've been doing this entire time? Talking to my people, trying to keep your son safe. You the one out here set shit on fire, killing people, and now Sonny out here kidnapping Latino son. This is your fault. You fucking fix it. And why you talking Warlord's like, no, 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 no. I've never done anything wrong in my life. I've never done anything wrong in my life. You gotta fix it. And they kind of get into this like, Lucas like, look, you fixing it because you did it. Sonny wants something. Like, if Latino's son is still alive, that means that Sonny wants something. Give that fool what he wants. What's the problem? Like, give him what he wants. I'll give it to him. What do he want? And so this is gonna be interesting. Like I said, I would have loved to see the continuing dynamic between Lucas, Sonny, Carly, Jason, and White East African Warlord in the Latino son missing thing, but we don't get to hear about it after Tuesday. It's like, it's ridiculous. The only thing left that happens is that Sonny goes to Carly's house because Carly called because Lucas was freaking out asking her to break into hotel rooms. Carly's like, what the fuck's going on? Where's Latino's son? Sonny's immediately like, don't talk to me about this. I don't want to talk about this. Like, don't be in my business, girl. We divorced. Carly's like, bitch, my brother is dating Latino son. He's freaking out. Latino son done saved Christina. What's the problem? Sonny's like, I'm not going to talk about this with you. Because like I said, you keep being like, you got to find another way, but you don't give me another way. You don't have alternative plans. You don't have Your plan is for me to let Lucas date Latino son in peace while he kills all our children. I'm not about to do that. Sorry, Latino son. Sorry, Lucas. Sorry, West Side Story fans. We're not doing that shit. And so that's literally the end of Mob Hospital for the rest of the week. The Drillo story, like the next story, the Westbournes Ride Again, that is adjacent to Mob Hospital because a lot of it has to do with Mob Hospital, specifically about trashing Mob Hospital, but not for the sake of Mob Hospital, for the sake of fucking Willow and her horrendous relationship with Drew Kane. Let's get into it. We can't even talk about Willow and Drew for a second. We gotta go back and we gotta talk about Lulu. I know you're like, what are you talking about? What do you mean we gotta talk about Lulu in the Drew and Willow story? No, because it's not the Drew and Willow story. This is the Westbournes Ride Again story. The Westbournes are reconstituting, and I am not personally happy about it. And I am happy to see Liesl back on the show. And I like Liesl and Nina's relationship. I'm going to get into it. And even though I hate Nina and Liesl, let me get into it. I'm going to get into it. So Lulu calls Jason and asks him not to talk to Rocco about Britt, which is actually very fair. And this is one thing I actually agree with Lulu about, that like, Jason, just because you bang this woman in the lighthouse doesn't give you the right. He was literally like, I gotta tell her story. Like, the thing I could do for her is tell her fucking story. Jason, shut the fuck up. What are you talking about? What you mean you gotta tell her story? That's her son. That's her son. I can see if Rocco was Gio's age. Like, when he's 22 years old, girl, he's gonna hear about it anyway. So, like, I'm gonna tell him, like, what you talking about? That's a 15-year-old. That's a 15-year-old boy. So, yeah, she actually does get to dictate what you do and do not tell her son. about the women you bang in lighthouses, Jason. And he does end up having to talk to her like she's a fucking child because she is a fucking child. She acting like a child. Because, like, why does Lulu need people to see the people she hates the way she sees them to feel close to them? It's extra fucking weird. Because she's like, well, what you said to Rocco undermined what me and Dante said. Specifically what I said, which is what Britt is terrible and da 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 da. And Jason is pretty much like, Rocco can Google all this shit about Britt. Britt's picture is on the wall of heroes at GH. That's why he asked me about her. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I'm not making shit up. I know that you think that she's terrible and you are allowed to think that. It doesn't negate any of your experiences with her. But it's not like I am the first person bringing up the fact that that woman might have changed. Like, he came to me because that is a prevalent narrative in this town that you wouldn't know about because you were in a coma. And he literally has to talk to her like that. And she's still like, no. No. I think that hating the same people makes you closer. Like, girl, I am on your side that Jason don't have the right to be talking to your child, but how you and me got to the same location mind boggles me. I'm astounded. Because, like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, it just, it makes her sound stupid to me. Like, I would have accepted her not giving some, like, I need Rocco to feel this way because, like, that's how I know he loves me. I'd rather her just tell Jason, like, don't tell my children shit because they're my children. And who the fuck are you? A mobster? Get out of my face. Like, I would have accepted that more than anything she had to say. But they kind of agree to, like, disagree and respect each other. Um, he leaves. Alexis comes and she's like, I need to get my guarantees out. So I'm here to ask you to tell me who wrote the article about Sonny because it makes Christina upset. Was Christina even on this week? No. Is Christina a grown ass woman? Yes. And so why is Alexis here? The same reason she was at Latino Son's house talking about Sonny didn't do it, be nice to him for Christina. Stop. Give Alexis something better to do or get her off my screen. I don't want to see this anymore. I'm over it. I'm over it. But Lulu's like, okay, I will find out who wrote the Sonny hit piece because I have Sam's liver. Stop mentioning Dead Sam. Stop mentioning Dead Sam to, like, endear me to characters and the shitty, stupid decisions that they make. Because, like, they use Dead Sam to endear me to the fact that Jason just abandoned his son to take Michael's mistress out of the country when she can take a damn private jet herself. Robert could pick her up at the airport. Please don't come in my mentions to be like, well, Robert's all frail and stuff. We all know the real life implications of, like, Tristan Rogers versus the character of Robert Scorpio. We can live in the world of imagination where Robert Scorpio is healthy and can still fight off people because he's a spy. And he could pick her up, and Jason could go play catch with his fucking son, but Dead Sam. So that's why he's allowed to do that. Like, ooh, Danny, you were such a good man. Dead Sam. We get that. Like, ooh, even though I just said crazy shit to Jason about how I need my son to have the same ops as me so we can love each other. Dead Sam. So don't be mad at me. Stop. Stop with Dead Sam. I don't want to hear that shit no more. I'm over it. But she agrees to go find out who did that. And does she actually? Because we never really go back to it. Like, we do not get back to it. The next time we see Lulu, she's talking to Dante, and Dante thinks that she just wants to get an interview with Sonny. So he's like, nah, girl, we're not doing that. She's like, yes, but no. I want to talk about Rocco because he's really struggling because of this Brit stuff. And da-da-da-da-da. Dante's like, listen, it sucks, but we gonna get him through it, alright? He's young, he's confused, he's 15, he got questions. Like, we just gotta be chill and, like, put off good energy and let him know that this is a safe space to ask his questions and you know, and be supported. She's like, no, what we need to do is trash fucking Brooklyn because this shit's her fault. Dante's like, bruh, this again? This again? Like, really, I really thought we had finished this last week. I thought we were done with this last week because we were going to focus on our son because our son is what we need to concern ourselves with, and you still want to trash Brooklyn. Like, Brooklyn didn't even mean to do that. She didn't mean to do that. She feels super bad about it. Lulu's like, really? Really, bitch? Really? So she told you she feels bad about that and you just believe her ass? Like, you live in a house with 11 people, but she just leaving shit around that's sensitive like that for our son to see, and you believe that was an accident? That's what you telling me? Dante's like, yeah, yeah, I do. Lulu is just like, you just doing that because she your baby mama. And see, I'm like, Lulu, that's how you showed your hand, because you just jealous because you are now not only the only person who gets Dante Falconeri baby mama privilege. Like, so what? So what if he want to be good and nice to her so he can have a relationship with their son? Because he's currently not talking to either of them. Lulu's like, I've got a genius plan. Because remember, Lulu thinks that hating the same people makes you closer to family because she's a fucking weirdo. And so she's like, you should remind Gio that all of this is Brooklyn's fault. To be honest, this is all her fault. And that's why he should talk to you. Dante's like, okay, you're a fucking child, and I'm not going to do that. Brooklyn suggested that shit too, and I said no, because I don't want to have some relationship with my son in spite of his mother. That shit's fucking weird. That's weirdo behavior. And like, at the end of the day, because I am the son of the hoe formerly known as Sonny Corinthos, because he's still in his celibate era. Um, but I am that man's son, and so obviously I got multiple baby mamas because I had it in me the whole time. Turns out, and so we're family. Like, all of my bitches got to come together. Essentially, all the baby mamas got to be besties. Like, look at how Sonny running his baby mama brigade. Ava is really the only outlier, and he even got her ass under control. And so he got multiple baby mamas, so many baby mamas. Like, Lulu is like, I don't give a fuck how Sonny runs his harem. I'm not gonna be sister wives with Brooklyn ever. And you know what? I'm not actually mad at her about that. Just because their children are like older, like, it'd be one thing if they had these young kids who were gonna like grow up together and be bonded. Rocco and Gio are really old enough to form their own emotional bond, separate from their mothers. So I actually do not care that Lulu don't want to be family with Brooklyn and vice versa. I don't care about that. And so if that was supposed to be some dunk moment on her, I didn't care. Did she look a little childish with the way she said it? I just think y'all need to write her a little bit more mature, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not going to be on her side. I think that, like, it does Lulu a disservice to write her so childish and, like, immature about this, even when she's in the right. Like, even when she's in the right with, like, Brooklyn or with Jason, they still make her sound wrong as hell. And I think that's stupid. Like, these people can be wrong and still, you know, have their convictions. And she could be right and you can make her sound right. Because, like I said, Brooklyn did fuck up, like, letting Rocco see that shit. But at least she was allowed to sound contrite. Where Lulu is just constantly like, I've never done anything wrong ever in my life. Like, I don't know why these people are mad at me. It's giving Willow. It's giving Willow, to be honest. But the story also makes Lulu right a lot of the time, because I'm gonna get into it in a sec. So, like, Lulu, she bounces on Dante because she said that I want you to be in the baby mama grade with Brooklyn, and she said I would rather die. And so she leaves. Next time we see her is with Sonny, and Sonny's like, "Hey girl, what's up? What you want?" And she's essentially like, "I need you to sell the Piers so my mom can be mayor." And Sonny's like, "All right, like, I'm not trying. I've been trying to sell them Piers. I learned through the process of trying to sell them that I can't sell them because some other assholes will get them, so I'm not going to do that. But thank you for your advice." Some people were saying, and I for a second I thought it was like, yeah, that is a good idea. Some people were saying that Michael should buy the Piers because then Sonny can still do his mobbing off the Piers, but then people would feel better about it because Michael owned it. The more I think about it, like, why would they feel better about that? Like, his last name is Corinthos too, and so, like, why is it different from like Sonny Corinthos or Michael Corinthos Jr. owning them to Michael Corinthos the third owning them. Like, it's still a Michael Corinthos owning them, and like Sonny's still gonna be doing what the fuck he wants on them. So I don't see how him owning them will make anyone feel better. Like, I don't think anyone attached to Mob Hospital would be a source that will look good. Like, if he sold them to Carly, or like obviously he can't sell them to Jason. The only person I could think that he could potentially sell them to and still have it look decent, um, especially because of what just happened, would probably be Nina. Who could afford them, so it wouldn't look like some like, oh, extra mob deal, like, oh, I specifically bought them. And then like she just did a hit piece on Sonny, so it would seem like, oh, he sold them to her to like shut her ass up or some shit. But then he could still do his mobbing. I don't know. If I'm giving you ideas, GH, feel free to take them. That's what I have to say. But back to what I was saying about Lulu and how the show likes to make her right. Like, they're retroactively making her right. So they retroactively made her right about how Rocco found out and about Jason telling his weird truth about banging Britt in the lighthouse, because they have Rocco being so fucking weird about Britt. Like, he's so weird about it. Like, bruh, what do you mean? Like, all this shit is so fucking weird, and she is a weirdo, and everything you've heard about her should make it like, so you don't want to talk, you don't want to learn anything more about her. Like, she stole you as an embryo, bruh. But you're like, well, she's on the wall of heroes. It seems like she's a nice person. Maybe she loved me. And so they have him like going around asking Sasha, like, do you think babies remember their mother's voices? Britt's not your mom. Britt's not your mom. And so, not you out here got me feeling bad for Lulu because you asking about questions like Britt is your fucking mom. So weird. But he ends up calling Liesel. And for Liesel's credit, she's real honest. Like, Britt was a fucking mess. She was out here still at embryos, my guy. What you want me to what you want me to say? Um, but she's like, also, like, she was a free spirit and she wasn't out here conforming to people and like being fake polite and shit. Like, she wouldn't be at homophobe with Maria Santos's fucking funeral pretending like that bitch wasn't a homophobe. Like, she would have been like, fuck that bitch. And that's why I loved her. And Rocco was like, okay, thanks for letting me know. Are you gonna stay around? Are you gonna stick in town and be my grandmother? She's like, yes, I will, son. I will 100% be doing that. Don't even trip about that. And so that's about to become a thing. Now we'll go back to Liesel. Like I said, Rocco just pops up in like the Emma Honeypot Hospital story. But fucking Willow. So attractive biracial doctor needs to mind his own business and get a better story, because how they use him is so ridiculous. Like I said, he was straggling along with his money pit house he got from Lucky, and now he's decided to be like Willow's knight in shining armor or some bullshit, and she got enough of those. I'm sick of her and these men capping for her when she's legitimately a horrible person. If you like her, feel free to like her. I'm not telling you not to like her. I don't like her, and there is nothing you can say that will convince me to like her. Moving on. So Willow's being as nutty as ever. But attractive biracial doctor is new here. He's new to Port Charles, and so he's only ever met nutty ass Willow. That's the baseline personality that she's had since he's worked at GH, to be honest, because she's always been with Drew. And so she's like, I'm so happy to be working with you. And he's like, so am I. Lucas turns the corner. Her whole energy changes because Lucas sees her. He sees her for who her punk ass is. And he don't like her ass. And so he's like, hey girl, can you get these tests done? Bye. And like, I don't feel like he did anything wrong. Like, you don't have to be friends with the people you work with. He just asked her for some tests. Like, would you want him to like smile and hug her when he does it, attractive biracial doctor? But like, he's like, wait a minute, we all gotta work together. Like, let's all be cool. Let's be besties and stuff. And they're like, okay, fine, we'll do that. Lucas is like leaves. He leaves. He's like, let me go find a new nurse to work with, as I'm not working with her. Willow immediately starts being weird and talking shit about Michael, and that immediately weirds out attractive biracial doctor. He's like, girl, why are you talking about that? Like, why? That's weird. Okay, like, I don't need to know that. She's like, Michael drove me to it. Yeah, exactly. You don't take responsibility for nothing. You don't take responsibility for not a goddamn thing in your life. It's actually insulting and embarrassing at this point. Like, she's underneath Jordan. Because last week I was ragging the hell out of Jordan for being so embarrassing. Willow's like 17 rungs beneath her. And I kind of love that everybody hates Willow. I love that everybody hates Willow except people who don't really know her and are just forced to work with her, like Attractive Biracial Doctor. And so Michael and Sasha show up because, Sasha's about to bounce. And Willow immediately tries to intimidate Michael and Sasha and be like, Sasha, how long before he tries to steal your baby? And it's funny because, like, he's literally letting Sasha take this baby to parts unknown because that's how much he trusts her over bitch ass Willow. And so, Willow's getting in Michael's face, like, you made Wiley cry because you don't let me see him because you obey court orders. Michael's like, yes, I do, bitch. In fact, I called the court and I said that you showed up when you weren't supposed to. I asked you to leave. You didn't. And now that custody hearing's in October. Checkmate, bitch. I cackled. I cackled because that's what she deserves. That's what you get. And she's really like, oh my God, I can't believe it. I can't go 3 months without seeing my children. Sasha, help me. How fucking dare you? How fucking dare you? Knowing that you have been kidnapping this woman's child casually for like 12 minutes a day for the past week and a half, and now you want to ask this woman for help? Now you're like, why don't you help me? Bitch, go straight to hell. Go straight to hell. Anyway, Michael's like, bitch, my baby mama not gonna help you. Deal with it yourself. Deal with it yourself. At the same time, Drew is over at Carly's house trying to intimidate her, being like, tell your son that he needs to let Willow see her kids or else. Carly's like, or else what? We got custody. What you talking about? What? Or else what? Like, Willow ain't shit. She's brainwashed by you. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with it, Carly. She's definitely not. She's definitely not. This is her own idea. But Carly still thinks she's brainwashed by you, and that's why she can't see her kids. He kind of calls her a hypocrite, which, I mean, I get what he was saying, because, Carly constantly chose Sonny and Jason over her children's safety, but she doesn't see it that way, and the show's really not trying to frame it that way, even though they should, to be honest. They should just have Carly say things like, and I regret that. And we're literally facing the consequences of those choices right now, which is why I'm not going to let you be the new Sonny in my fucking grandkids' life. So you can go straight to hell, but they don't. They have her be like, I don't put men before my kids. Like, we have you on record putting several men before your kids, Carly. But sure, yeah, we don't do that. He's like, well, whatever, bitch, I warned you. Willow calls him to tell him that Michael moved the custody hearing to October. And Drew's like, don't even worry about that. Don't even worry about that, because I got that shit under control. Willow is like, how are we going to get him back? Like, and I can't take any more. She does not even care what's happening. She does not care what's happening at all. Like, whatever happened. Like she said, they drove her to this. They drove them to this. So she has no morals, no conscience. Like, she needs to never see her kids again. I need her locked up at this point. Because, like, at least the mob hospital aspect of the show understand how they fuck up. How they fuck up. And they live in a world like Sonny kidnapping Latino's son is not the same as Willow kidnapping fucking Sasha's baby. Because like Sonny and White East African Warlord live in a world in which those are the stakes. Those are the consequences for making those types of moves. Sasha is not in that world with Willow, where you're like, well, it's not fair that I don't get to see my kids, which is why I gotta kidnap this baby. Girl, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Drew is like, I don't want to tell you what's going on. Just trust me. Look how, did that work out for you last time, Queen? But she does. He goes to see freaking Portia. Let's go. He goes to see Portia. I'm gonna get to Black Hospital in a second. That's one of two blackmail attempts. I'm gonna get to it. The first blackmail attempts, because I want to talk about before Drew's, is Tracy. Tracy blackmails Nina to betray Sonny so she could protect Gio. First she tries to appeal. Like, Nina is really not trying to do this because Tracy's really like, at first she's trying to be nice about it. She's like, I really need to protect my grandson. I know that you and Sonny are no longer married, and I need you to go on record and say that he's a bad man, that he's a terrible person. Nina's like, I don't want to do that, to be honest. Like, I'm not comfortable doing that. Um, if I was gonna do it, perhaps, because like first she's really trying to appeal to Tracy's good side. Like, Sonny loves his family, he would never hurt Gio. Tracy's like, so I'm not saying that Sonny gonna try and hurt Gio. I'm saying he gonna hurt him regardless of whether or not he's trying. Then Nina's like, well, maybe I can get something for Willow out of this. So she's like, well, maybe you can help protect my grandkids while you're protecting your great grandson. Tracy's like, that was a mistake. That was a mistake. Not you trying to extort favors out of me when I'm blackmailing you, bitch. Nina's like, huh? Tracy's like, here's what's good. You gonna do what the fuck I say, or I'm gonna tell everybody that you fucked Drew, including Willow. Nina really tries to be like, whoa, 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 whoa. Tracy's like, bitch, Ned hired a private eye to follow Drew last year, caught him and Cody fisticuffing it up at that bar, and caught him screaming about how you fucking Drew. And I'm gonna tell Willow if you don't do what I say. She's like, well, Tracy's like, you gonna tell everybody that y'all had a terrible marriage and that you left him because he's dangerous, and then you gonna tell everybody that he's crazy. Goodbye. Nina, here's the thing before I even get into it. I understood why y'all held this in the chamber for that long. I think it's dumb. Because Nina and Drew, out of like, if we're putting like Nina, Drew, and Willow in this sort of like triangle, Nina and Drew are the least guilty out of these two. Because they're not married, right? They're not married to anybody. They were completely single, consenting adults doing something. Willow is the one who broke her vows. Willow is the bad person in this. And this is the one thing that the story has been missing because they're so used to Willow being a victim. That, like, Willow is the fucking villain in this story. For everyone involved. And everybody's life has fallen apart, not because of Drew. Drew's life is also in the fucking toilet because of Willow. This is Willow's fault. And their incessant refusal to hold this bitch accountable is actually getting annoying. It's getting annoying. I need certain characters. Like, the reason why I like Lucas is because he's given Willow fucking attitude. Fuck Drew. Willow deserves this smoke. I don't want to hear about how, like, oh my god, Willow, she's being taken advantage of by Drew. It's so sad. No, it's not. No, it's not. But this is what we're using it for. Tracy is blackmailing Nina. And so Nina agrees, but then she leaves and does this little like, I'll get you and your little dog too. Like, it's stupid. So now let's go to Black Hospital. Blackmail attempt number 2. So first and foremost, we get Stella sighting. Stella goes to ask Curtis about why he's talking shit about Sonny. Both because Sonny is a mobster, but also because Stella is cool with Mob Hospital. Remember, she loves Mob Hospital. Curtis is like, I did what I had to do. This business. It's nothing personal. Stella is like, I'm not buying that shit. Curtis is like, bet. It's definitely personal, but I can't talk about it. I'll tell you when I can tell you. She's like, cool. Next time we see Stella, she's essentially finding out that Trina dumped unattractive biracial ex-football player. And she makes this amazing point to him where she's like, listen, I once had to give up the love of my life for family, and I don't regret that choice because it was my family. But, like, do you, like, was what you did worth it? Like, you potentially gave up. Now, I don't think that they were each other's loves of each other's lives. I think that's just a little too harsh and ridiculous. But it is a very good point to be like, was Drew Kane worth it? Like, you keep wanting to be this, like, I did the right thing and I was doing the right thing. Okay, sometimes doing the right thing ain't doing the right thing. That's first. Second, you potentially gave up the love of your life for this man. Was that worth it? Is this man gonna be in your life for the rest of your life? Is this man gonna, like, do you know that? And so, you know, and he had just got read by fucking Portia, and I'm gonna get to it. But essentially, let's stay with Curtis for a second. We'll get to Portia. She deserves her own section. Um, Curtis is in his office. Stella leaves. Nina shows up, being like, "I'm ready to trash Sonny. Let's trash him together. Let's do this as a team." Curtis is like, "Cut the shit. I know about the sex worker and you and my wife paying her and drug and Drew and all the things." She tries to apologize for getting Portia involved because that was Nina's idea, not Portia's. And he's like, "Nah, it's Portia's fault." Okay. Okay, Curtis. I'm going to talk about this in a sec. Um, she essentially tells him how, like, "Oh my God, of course I don't want to do it. Like, I still, care about Sonny, but I feel stuck and, like, I have to betray my friend." And Curtis spontaneously remembers that Nina was banging Drew. Yes, this is why I didn't. I was like, let's do Tracy and then come to Nina. And so all the people who know this info and are down to betray Nina are now fully aware about it and putting it into play, because the other people who know are Sasha and Maxie. They're both spontaneously out of town. And so we will know that it was either Tracy or Curtis. And it's gonna be funny because I think it's gonna be Curtis, and I think like, because Nina's being blackmailed by Tracy, she's gonna think it was Tracy, but I think it's gonna be Curtis trying to save Portia. But essentially, we'll see, we'll see. I I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. Portia. Let's do Portia. We're so close to being done. I just looked at the time and I was like, shit, I'm an hour and 30 minutes. But whatever. We're almost done. Portia, we see her at the hospital. Unattractive biracial ex-football player tries to apologize for betraying her. And Portia's not trying to hear that shit. She's like, you hurt my daughter. And that's all I actually care about. Like, I could live with the fact that you betrayed confidential knowledge, that you eavesdropped hearing in my house that I invited you into, that you betrayed me with that. But the fact that you betrayed Trina when you said you were going to do that, you wouldn't even give her a warning or nothing, that I don't rock with that. Throws him out her office. Or, well, he kind of like, I'm going to go. Okay, bye. We're not friends anymore, bruh. Get out of my office. But Drew shows up and essentially tells Portia to make Michael look like a drug addict. And we need to Brooke her, dust off your shelf, get the Emmy ready, because she gives an Emmy winning performance for Wednesday and Friday, as Portia has finally reached her limit and decides to turn herself in for what she did to Heather so she can stop being under Drew's thumb. She breaks her degree. She looks at her medical degree. She breaks it. She got her degree from University of California, San Francisco, but I think it's cool since they have like Patrick and Robin working at Berkeley, even though it's not a medical school because the medical school is at UCF SF. But whatever. That's where she got her degree from. It's a very good medical school. Breaks it on the ground. She goes to see Curtis, and she essentially tells him, I'm turning myself in. I'm not going to be under this man's thumb anymore. I'm done. I'm over it. And he's like, well, what about Trina? She's going to feel so bad. Da-da-da-da-da. Portia's like, I worked too fucking hard as a black woman in America to become a doctor, to reach this level of my career. If it's done, it's done. And at least I know that I'm proud of the things I accomplished. And Trina can have a mom who isn't some small person enslaved to a white man, which has always been a terrible look for this story. And I need y'all to see it. Like, people who control the show, I need you to see how bad it looks to have Drew talking to them like this. Like, there has to be a better way to phrase how he talks to Portia. It's so fucking bad. But I'm so glad she reached her limit. Um, Curtis is really, really like, please don't do this. He thinks he's got the like fucking Nina Hail Mary, which is not guaranteed at all. Like, Drew could totally crash out on that. Like, he's not really thinking about it. And like, just let it all come out at this point. At this point, like, Heather has been in Sedona for months. I think since 2024. She's been in fucking Sedona. Let it all come out, as we learned at the Coldplay concert this very week. What happens in the dark will come to light. God and Coldplay, God and Chris Martin, they don't play. And so I'm sick of Curtis. Stop it. Let your wife be honest. Um, but the final story, the final thing we see this week is really the Westbournes reunite. They come back together. Um, excuse me. And it highlights sort of the irritating the main issue that I've always had with Nina as a character since 2019, since Cynthia took over. And I don't think it's a Cynthia issue. I think it's a writing issue, and I don't know why they write her like this. But I'm going to get into it. So Sonny confronts Nina about the article because, unlike Curtis and Michael, Nina does not. Well, she tried. She called Sonny. Sonny didn't answer, and so he wakes up to this like horrendous fucking article where she's essentially like, he was an abusive piece of shit, and I left him. He's like, bitch, that is not what happened. Like, I 1000% left you because you're a lying ass bitch who's not loyal. She's like, listen, I'm being blackmailed by Tracy. There's nothing I could do. And he immediately forgives her. And this is the number one fucking issue with this character. There are no consequences for this character. There are no stakes for this character. The main issue was leaving the like Drew and Nina slept together until the end to make it this big fucking like this Schroding, that's not Schrodinger's cat, this Chekhov's gun of fucking, oh, people finding out about it. The problem is that this character has no stakes. You have never written this character with stakes, not since 2019. This character is bulletproof. There is nothing she could do that would make the main people in her life change on her. And so there are no real stakes to this character. And so this is not like, oh, I don't like Nina because I find her annoying. I find plenty of characters on this show annoying. The issue now is that I find her boring. Like, she's a boring character because there are no stakes attached to her. She's at no risk of losing anybody ever. Not even Willow, because, like, what happens at the end of this? Everybody hates Willow. And she won't trust Drew anymore. And so Nina will literally be one of the only people she has. Unless she's gonna fucking imprint on attractive biracial doctor. Good luck to that character. And so, like, it's a problem that you set up these massive stakes where Nina's doing these, like, kind of fucked up things to the people she's supposedly close with, and she has faces no repercussions for it ever. Not once. Like, Curtis thinks that Portia lying about switching Heather's test results and drugging Drew is a literal justification for having an emotional affair with his ex-wife. But when Nina takes responsibility for the whole thing, literally it being her idea and dragging Portia into it, he's like, nah, it's not your fault. I'm not even mad at you, as usual. Why? Why not have that be an issue between Curtis and Nina? Instead, you're reversing it. Instead, you're going to have Curtis betray Nina and tell everybody that her and Drew slept together so she can be mad at him and he can be asking her for forgiveness? Are you fucking crazy? Why would you do that? Like, she literally sat down for an article where she's not even just lying about her marriage to Sonny. She's bringing up his personal medical issues, like his mental health issues, and he's like, well, you're protecting your daughter. Tracy's right. This is not good fucking soap. I didn't need him to throw barware at her, but like he can have feelings about this. Curtis didn't need to never talk to her again, but he should be allowed to feel some type of way when she takes his wife into a fucking plan that requires her to lie to him. Because that's her asking Portia to fucking lie to him. Because when he brought it up, she was like, oh, Portia told you that? All fucking confused. So yes, she expected Portia to lie to you. But you don't write Curtis having an emotion about that. Instead, you're going to have us watch her have an emotion about Curtis trying to save his fucking wife, who Nina doesn't give a fuck about. She's like, do this stupid fucking sex worker plan with me. Like, there's no stakes attached to this character. You literally, Sasha, like, now Sasha thinks that mobsters are coming after her baby because Sonny Corinthos is his grandfather. Now, there was already an issue with people thinking that Jason was his dad, but still, like, if you're setting the stakes that it's fine for Jason to be the dad, but it's not fine for Sonny to be the grandfather, then what Nina did is fucking terrible. And Sasha should have opinions about that. Instead, she's like, well, now that I have a daughter, I realize that any and all things related to your daughter are fucking justified. How Alexis Davis of you, Sasha? People hate that shit about Alexis. That any and everything regards to one specific daughter, not even all three of her daughters, just one, just the Christina one, just the Sonny one, is anything is fair game. That shit is boring. There's no stakes. And why should I believe, like, as your audience, why should I believe that there will be stakes with this Willow thing when there are never stakes with anything else? Because Carly hating her is not stakes. She's gonna hate her regardless. So who gives a shit? And like, you do this all the time. You even do this with Nina sometimes. You had Ava spend pretty much all of 2023 trying to destroy Nina's marriage, accomplishes that, and then Nina and her don't even really fucking deal with it. Like, I think they had one awkward run-in, and then they were like, oh my god, girl, our friendship is too precious. Why is it too precious? This is the woman who was paid by your mom to sleep with your husband and seduce him away from you, had a baby with him. Like, what are you talking about? And so, that is my main issue. Like, if you ever see me on Twitter or on this podcast talking about Nina, the issue with Nina is never anything to do with Cynthia, right? Cynthia's doing the best job she can with the material that she's given, and I think she does it really well. The issue is that they have kneecapped this character in regards of stakes to where anytime you put her in a position where, like, oh my god, Nina's in a position where she might lose something, I don't even care because I know she's going to be fine. Like, I know she's going to be fine. I literally watch this show and if it's a storyline that involves Nina Reeves, I'm like, Nina, it's 100% gonna work out for her. And it always fucking does. And that is the main issue with this character. She's boring as fuck because of it. And so that is my big long rant about Nina. They happen once every 6 months. Hope you enjoyed that one. If you didn't, I apologize. I'm not going to put timestamps because I don't know how to do that. And I don't want to. Moving on. So Nina is freaking out. Sonny leaves, because what else can they say? He was just like, yeah, I'm sorry. I wish you hadn't done that, but I get it. You're trying to save your daughter. Doesn't even ask what specifically prompted her. Like, what is Tracy blackmailing her about? Doesn't ask, just like, trust your girl, and leaves. Nina's like freaking out for no fucking reason over this Drillo wedding. Because like I said, they'll probably have Willow forgive her immediately because who else does Willow have? But she's freaking out about it when Liesel shows up, and Liesel is like, hey girl, been keeping tabs. The family is struggling. It's Struggle Bus City, Destination Port Charles over here. How can I help? Willow shows up, and Liesel is like Willow is queen struggle of this bus. And so Willow's like, can I be in the conversation even though you're talking shit about me? Liesel immediately starts reading Willow down. Like, bitch, what's going on? What's going on with your life? You divorced? You lost your kids? You married some raggedy ass man? What's going on? She's like, it's all Michael's fault. I didn't do anything wrong. I've never done anything wrong in my life. Michael's a lying ass bitch. Lisa's like, that's funny because last time I was here, y'all were super in love. She was like helping you through cancer and shit, sitting by your bedside, vigil and everything. She's like, well, you're the one who saved me and Drew. You and Drew saved me. Michael didn't do shit. Them prayers didn't do nothing. So fuck him. Um, Lisa was like, all right, bitch, you sound weird as fuck. Like, obviously the judge didn't agree. And so that's what Nina's like, well, oh no, Sasha, not Sasha, I'm coming to her. Willow was like, well, Michael's got 3 kids living under his roof, and I don't have any. Girl, Scout lives there. Because I saw some people in not in my YouTube mentions or Spotify, but like my Twitter mentions, being like, Scout lives at the Quartermains. She 1,000% does not live at the Quartermains. She lives with Drew, and she is not allowed to see the Quartermains or Danny. It is a big fucking storyline that is currently running. Remember? He hates these people because they won't let him use the name Quartermain. And he hates Jason because he thinks he stole his life and Carly. And so he will not allow Scout to see the Quartermains or Danny. So Danny hasn't seen his sister in months. And the only reason that she sees Alexis because he knows that, like, he doesn't want the smoke with Alexis. He's not ready for Cassadine shenanigans, to be honest. Um, but Willow's like, 0 kids live with me, and Scout lives with her. And that's why I'm like, Willow, you ain't shit. You truly ain't shit. And so Nina comes in like, well, Michael don't have 3 kids under his roof. He only got 2 because Sasha's bouncing. Willow, once again, is like, is he taking my kids? Because he can't do that. They're like, no. It's just Sasha. She's leaving. There's like some threat against her baby. They think it's to do with Sonny, so she's leaving. Willow starts Cheshire Cat fucking smiling. Like, oh my god, well, her baby's in danger? That's hilarious. You fucking psychopath. Liesel clocks that shit immediately. Willow tries to turn around, gets some water, but Liesel clocked it. She leaves. Liesel's like, your daughter crazy. Your daughter extra crazy. What the fuck's going on there? Lena's like, I don't know what to do. I've been trying to do stuff, but like nothing's happening. Lisa's like, listen, I understand. I get it that you met her or you like realized that was your daughter late in life, so you don't know how to parent. You just want to be this bitch's friend. Parent your fucking child. Nina's like, I can't. Drew won't let me. And so Lisa's like, bet we gonna stop his ass. We gonna get his ass. And Liesel's back. And so Liesel's back. I'm happy to see her. I'm excited to see her. And then the final thing we see is Willow, punk ass Willow, calling Michael like, oh my god, Michael, I'm so sorry that your baby had to leave. But now you know what it feels like to lose a child. So can we compromise? Bitch, eat my ass. I hope you never get them kids again. I know she will. I know this is soap opera, so it's going to resolve itself eventually. But I hope it takes years. Please, like, in a perfect world, Willow is the new AJ. Willow is the new AJ Quartermain, and we got to continuously keep her kids from her because she cannot have them. She's bad. And she's actually worse than AJ Quartermain because this is not even on some petty shit. This is on some real shit because we see what her and Drew are like. We see what those people are like. They're awful. But that is the show. I almost hit 2 hours again. I'm sorry, y'all. I had a lot to say. A lot happened. A lot's been happening, which is why I'm back. And it makes me excited to recap the show and to like do stuff. And so thank you for listening. If you like this, feel free to like it wherever you can like it. Like I said, Spotify, Apple, Google. I'm on YouTube now. Like and subscribe, YouTubers or YouTube watchers. I guess I'm the YouTuber. That shows how much I know about this shit. But please like and subscribe. Thank you for listening. And like I said, I'm gonna try and get some visuals popping. Not this week because I don't have time, but soon. And this has been fun. So see you next week. Bye.